What's going on, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music as a musician myself. Today is the return of Killer Instinct. I just heard Killer Instinct a couple days ago via Spinal Steam. This is going to be a 2-for-1 video. The request is actually for the 2013 version of Type-03, aka Fulgore's theme. And I'm going to make it upon myself to hear the original from the Super Nintendo. This is just called Fulgore theme, composed by Robin Beanland. I don't think I've ever heard original Killer Instinct music besides the main theme. So that's something. I'm gonna hear this one first because why not? And then the Mick Gordon version, obviously from Doom fame and, well, this too. So yeah, Fulgore. The only thing I know about this character is that he's a robot and he's been around forever. So let us get into it. This is a very short song. It's only a minute 30, but this is the original, I think. Because I noticed there's KI2 and there's Gold, and I don't know, I just looked at the one that had the beginning. Anyways, let's go. Fulgore's theme. Instant tension. Look at that box art. Oh my gosh. Sirens? Oh my god. If there's sirens, I can just tell Mick Gordon to do something crazy with those. Oh, it's very fast. Just a bass line over and over. Don't you just love those short loops from back in the day? Anyways, that was cool. I'm very curious what Mick Gordon did to that. That was cool. That was the first time I heard Killer Instinct besides the main theme from the original game. All right, so this is Type-03, aka, again, Fulgore's theme. This one's a little longer. And let's just go. More Mick Gordon is always cool. Let's go. Gotta have an intro build-up, right? There it is. Wow. Oh my god, I just thought of something. Oh my god. Doesn't this make you just want to like punch holes through walls or something? Ooh. Ooh, that was a nice transition. I wasn't expecting that at all. Oh my god. Choir? So loud in my ears, dude. Sounds like a war zone in my head. Oh man. He gave the song a chorus. With a big open chord. Is this a real drummer, or are these programmed? Because please tell me there's like a YouTube drum cover of this. Oh my god, it hasn't let up once. Oh. Little bridge? Woo! I'm gonna cry. Has it looped yet? I feel like this has been a constant journey of explosions. Oh, it's fading out. Alright, so the first one. The first one was incredible, actually. Especially for the time, which was, I'm guessing 94 to 96, 7, Super Nintendo, maybe 93. I don't remember exactly, but it's definitely during that era. Killer Instinct, obviously a Mortal Kombat like competitor, always, but it's its own thing for sure. Ultra combo, right? Well, the first one, composed by Robin Beanland. Don't know anything about them. I don't know if they've composed anything else, if I've done anything else from their channel, but I don't know if I've done anything from on the channel from them. No idea. I don't recognize the name. But the first one did a really cool job of... Now, before I even get into the other song, I feel like this is one of those where I think it's... People probably still do it. They'll compare, like, oh, I like this one better, or I like this one better. I think that's pointless. They're totally different entities. They're the same, like, ball of yarn, but there's so many frayed ends that it's just, you know, they can coexist. without being better than the other. So, plus it's just more stress to compare and argue, whatever. So, first one was impressive, especially for the limitations. This is pre-CD era. This is cartridges, and for a lot of people, that's like the epitome as far as like video game sounds for them. Like the older generation. And I was a kid during that generation, so obviously I know that as well. This is kind of the era of like arcades are still popular, but they're starting to fade out for the home console. That was really impressive as far as composition and structure of that song, that first one, because it definitely sounded, if I did not know, I know what Killer Instinct is. So if I did not know what Killer Instinct was, and I don't know what character it belonged to, because usually I have no context during these videos, I would legitimately guess, because I know myself, I would legitimately guess that has to do something with like machinery at least, or some sort of electronic component. That's the song that it painted. So it has that sort of feel, this kind of electric current. So what I'm saying is like the fact that it's for this robotic, I guess, cyborg character. It makes sense. It makes sense. But it also makes sense if someone were to hear this blind, that it has that driving, like, mechanical sound, and it totally fits. There's a lot of lasers. There was the, what else? It was very tense from the beginning. It just immediately puts you in this, oh, geez, type of mood. Like, this is a serious opponent. This is a serious character. The sirens were really cool and very distinctive. As soon as I heard that, I told myself, I'm like, this is going to get reused in a certain way just because I knew who was going to be doing the next one. But I feel that that's how characteristic those were. You don't really hear sirens in a song, right? Like, how often do you hear that? You could probably name them on one hand. So the fact that it was in there and it has this kind of sense of urgency, like, to me, I think of pure destruction when I hear that. The SNES version. So, yeah, the first one definitely is its own thing and should not be, in my opinion, compared to the Mick Gordon version. They can live side by side, and I feel like this deserves a lot of respect. Because I kind of really want to hear the other originals that I've missed out on. Because anything KI that I've done on the channel prior to this has been from the 2013. So I haven't heard of these originals, and I kind of want to know. And this is why. So this was my decision, and I made a good decision here. So big shout out to Robin on that. Second one, Type-03. Now, of course, I can just praise this for the monstrosity that it was, but to be on what I was just talking about is the song was extremely faithful. This is now the first time I have a direct comparison of source material and what Mick can do with it. So far, I've only heard Mick Gordon and his originals or his renditions of these, but I've never heard him like back to back or where he got the source material from. So this was like a whole new light for me. It was like hearing Mick for the first time again. I haven't heard that many Mick Gordon songs in general. It's been like 10 or less, something like that. But let me tell you, to me, I feel like this song sounded, from what I've heard from KI, from him, it sounded the most at home. I could hear, I heard Doom first. And as far as I know, his Doom soundtrack came after this. Right? 2016, this would be 2013. So in a way, I have that backwards. But I'm just saying for me, because I heard Doom first, to me that sounded so much like a Doom song. So if anything, maybe the whole Doom soundtrack came from that. Like, it was based off of this. Those two sounded like they could live together. That sounded like death and destruction and pure chaos, but organized chaos. It sounded tight and, again, mechanical. It had everything there, right? It still sounded robotic, mechanical, and deadly. And it had that urgency with the sirens and all this, but it just kept going and going. So many layers added to it. One thing I like that Mick does is that he'll stop the song for like a brief second. These little like dynamic, like, you know, just to kind of like jerk you into like a headbanging part. It's so cool. And adds a lot of big, whatever it is. It just adds it. It adds so much to it. It's like a interactive book or something. I don't know. You know, obviously this one is metal AF. This is full of gallops. These little triplets going everywhere. I really like the addition of like the chorus section. This kind of big open chorus with the chords now. So it's not just it's just, you know, it slows down a little bit. There's a chorus and all. And yeah, I just couldn't help that this sounded like the most like Doom. But two things here. This is now the second time I just did this with Spinal, where people have told me that the Killer Instinct main theme is sprinkled throughout the soundtrack as an Easter egg type of thing. And then I couldn't hear it in Spinal's theme. At least I haven't heard it yet. I tried listening to it again here, and I still couldn't hear it. And then some people told me that it's only on the original characters. So I figured I would definitely hear it here, and I still didn't. So yet again, it's also the first listen, so I can't grasp everything, and I just got my like head blown off. So I didn't hear the main theme in there anywhere, but I'm gonna have to re-listen to it, and if maybe it just doesn't have it. But one thing came to mind over and over, and this is me as a composer myself, I guess, is I'm really curious if there's an interview or anything out there of what Robin thinks of this. I'm so curious, you know, because basically the idea, I'm putting myself in his shoes, the idea of, or their shoes, of me making something and then years later it gets remade into a freaking behemoth. You know, I could, I've never had that feeling, but I can only imagine the honor it brings, or maybe not, maybe they don't like it, who knows? That's why I'm so curious. But I'm really intrigued on what, surely they've heard the Mick Gordon versions. You know, that's very interesting to think about, like, because one had limitations, one had zero limitations. So it kind of makes you think, like, was this the true potential of the song? That kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, try to put yourself in the position as the original composer. Not, oh, I heard this one first, I like this one better. Or I heard this one first and then went back and didn't like the first. It's about thinking of the source, and then years later it gets remade, but you're the one that composed it. That's got to be like one of the trippiest feelings ever. Especially by such a world-renowned composer. I don't know, man. It's a lot to think about. But that was crazy. Both of them were really good. I don't think any of them were better than the other one. If anything, the original made me really, really want to consider checking out all the original KIs. Because as far as I know, all my Killer Instinct requests are all from 2013, the Mick Gordon versions. So I might just have to... It's hard, you know, like I can't just, I mean, I could just listen to the original, but these take time to make, you know what I mean? Like, it takes time. So, but, you know, I think when it comes to something as cool as that, such a unique case that I'll try, if I can remember, to hear the originals with the new ones. Can't promise anything, but I'll try. Anyways, whew, okay, it's a lot to talk about. Anyways, Fulgore, thank you, Weedle V, for the request and showing me this. Big shout out to Robin Beanland and Mick Gordon, of course, and to you for watching, and the Doom fans, the KI fans. This game is 10 years old now, this one, and the other one is, oh god, it's even older. But, you know, it's a fun time, and it's just one of these game soundtracks that I feel are just important in the history of gaming, at least fighting games. So I'm glad I discovered it here, and I continue to hear it here, because I'm not going to play these games. So anyways, thank you to my Patreon members that you see on the screen that are supporting me. I could not be here without them. Thanks to you for watching, and a big thank you to my Platinum members on Patreon, which get priority requests. That is Kevin, Patrick, Terry, Vanadel, Callanan, Gardeling, Mushmary, Justin, Knox, and Triage101. Until next time, dudes and dudettes. My name is Jesse. This is The Auditorium. Have a good night.